How many of you are architects or architecture students? Raise your hand. How many of you, those who raised their hands, have actually have done a concrete mix with their own hands? Very few. Back in 2014, when I was still an architecture student, I had the chance to participate in Home's program with LOIAC, the NGO. I was involved in the renovation of a public school in an underprivileged community in south of Jordan. From this experience, I had two main takeaways. First, I have learned how to do a concrete mix, something I couldn't learn at the construction materials course at the university, a course that I failed twice. Second, I've witnessed the impact of my work directly and the collective action of what we have done in the eyes of the children when we reopened the school at the end of the project. This learning experience has been unique. It was a highlight in my career and life path. These kind of experiences are experimental and collaborative. They allow us to interact with real-world problems and real people. It enabled me to learn technical skills and soft skills. And it allowed a space, a very safe place, for me to explore my interests and my desires. Experiential learning theory has been developed by David Kolb in the 80s. It's not something new, but it's something highly needed today, because our generation need 21st century skills, and we need new tools to engage young people in their communities. Experiential learning is an ongoing learning experience process. David Kolb has also developed the learning spiral. It's a cycle of the learning process components. And it starts when we start engaging with a tangible and concrete learning experience. And then we reflect, we take our observation on what we have learned, and after we analyze what have we learned, what are the new concepts that emerged, and what are the new skills that we gained. And then we move forward to actually start implementing what we have learned from previous experiences. The experiential learning allows us to link all the experiences that we have in life through reflection. And I think the most important part of it is reflection, because it allows us to build meaning, personal meaning. Each individual in whatever classroom can build his own meaning from whatever subject or course or experience the group is having. I have had a magical time sitting in a reflection circle, and it's something I make sure it takes place whenever I'm facilitating a program. How many of you have actually taken the time to sit with themselves, think, reflect about their day, their week, or a certain experience? Sometimes we think about it rapidly, but we never actually sit and think about and take our time to reflect on the learning experiences we are having. My curious explorations and my motivation to engage more with NGOs in Beirut led me in 2014 to found Architects for Change, what was known back then as the Lebanese Architecture Club. It connected students from all over the country and to provide a platform for extracurricular education, collaboration, and community engagement. The aim was to empower and inspire young architects and designers to become catalysts of change, to think about solving crucial problems in their communities by design and sociocultural practices. With youth engagement being at the heart of what we do, we ask ourselves every day, how can we meaningfully engage young people in decisions that affect them, their peers, and their communities? To put youth engagement in a context, if we look at Beirut, we notice there is no youth agenda. There is no unified youth agenda or vision. Last year, Nahnu, Urbego, and in collaboration with Architects for Change and LOIAC, conducted a research project on youth engagement in Beirut. The project assessed the engagement and participation in young people in the city on 4 different levels. First, the preconditions of the city. Second, the cultural and civic engagement. Third, the political and institutional engagement. And fourth, the economic engagement. If we look at the outcomes of the research, we can see this. It's an index that shows each condition and each indicator inside each level. If we look at the precondition, we see that indicators like safety, living conditions, and trust of the public in the public administration are lacking. This proves there is no real dialogue between youth and authorities, and there's a lack of infrastructure in the civic participation in our cities. But Beirut has proved that the civil society and some private companies have been able to engage people more effectively than the government. Therefore, NGOs, community organizations, responsible companies also have an active role to play in engaging young people in our country. The Heart's ladder of youth engagement provides us with an explanation of the different levels of youth engagement. If we look, we can find that the more we allow space for initiation, for engagement in decision-making, the more we empower young people and the more we engage them. To give a concrete example, last year I was doing a fellowship in the US in New Orleans at Groundwork, an organization that works on environmental challenges in each community. I had the chance to work with a group of young people, and I was looking at the program, the GREEN program, the program that employs youth between 14 and 18 years old to work on environmental and community development projects. Usually the projects are adult-initiated, and the youth are guided throughout the process. To take the engagement to another level, we added a new module where we can allow space for these young people to actually assess the needs of their community and take action to lead and initiate new projects, while allowing a space for adults to stay as facilitators, coaches, and mentors. Experiential learning is mostly known as learning by doing. But it's not only about doing. It's also about feeling, thinking, and reflecting. It's a holistic approach that involves the whole person. It involves our heart, what is emotional, what is social in our learning. It involves our mind, what is cognitive, and it involves our hands in what is practical. If we want to create learning opportunities that provide real problems, real interaction with the world for young people, we need to think about opportunities that are project-based. We need clear expectations, clear objectives, a framework, and a time frame. The opportunities also need to be place-based. It needs to be highly rooted in the local culture of the person, in his community, in his neighborhood, and in the school. This will provide an opportunity to develop the value of citizenship and allow the young people to take ownership of their project. And third, it needs to be team-based, because working collectively on achieving the goals will help them develop collaboration skills and foster their teamwork skills. Experiential learning is a human-centered approach. It understands the needs and the interests of the learner. It gives them control over the process, the learning outcomes, and the learning environment. At Architects for Change, we want our members to reach the top of the ladder. We want them to be highly engaged citizens. We want them to be empowered individuals in their communities and affecting agents of change in their communities. Therefore, we have developed a fellowship program that runs throughout the year, where it includes 3 main modules. First, the fellows take 5 months of workshops, capacity building workshops on entrepreneurship, leadership, and design. Second, which is during the summer, the fellows go to get a professional experience through an internship or through traveling to attending workshops locally or internationally. Third, we allow space for the fellows to actually assess current local challenge in their community. This could be social, cultural, or environmental, and let them initiate and lead a project that could be actually implemented through Architects for Change. We lack policy, we lack public and cultural spaces, we lack a youth vision, we get it. But if we work collectively together, we can avoid the brain drain. We can, all of us, engage young people, and we should stop waiting for them to engage us. Rather, let us start and creating and innovating new models for engagement. Let's us stop waiting for life to happen, and let us happen to life. Each experience you live shapes your story, and your story shapes a collective story that shapes our world. I am Abbas Sbeity. I am a facilitator of change. This is the story I'm shaping. What is yours? Thank you.